so much glare off my glasses. Hello, hello, hello. This is Corey Thompson from Dice Tower Dish, Above Board TV, all sorts of stuff.
And this is the Podfather of Gaming, Stephen Bonacore. You are listening to Board Games Insider, episode 380. And we're recording this at Gen Con, well, in Indianapolis at least.
Next to Gen Con.
July 29th, 2025. Board Games Insider, powered by Board Game
No,
Geek.
you see, you just don't do it right. You gotta get the good gusto.
All right.
Powered by Board Game Geek.
Well, I can make you do it if you like, starting immediately.
You
but
don't let me read the lines.
you're not good. I hope we're recording. Are we recording?
I don't know. You're doing the tech, man.
This would suck if we're not recording.
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, we're recording. Okay.
So now everybody in the world can see how good he is at the tech.
All right, we are absolutely recording for you, and we're here on the Tuesday at the moment.
Yep.
Corey arrived, ownership
This is
of Gen Con and all that kind of
Day
stuff.
-1.
It's I guess tomorrow is
day
zero.
Yep.
Because Gen Con officially does start on Thursday, the best 4 days
Right.
of gaming is what they call it, Thursday through Sunday. But we're here in Marriott downtown. We like to record this together, when we're here. One of the most watched on my channel videos I've ever posted was Ignacy and me doing it right here from the Rye Bar at Marriott downtown. They have thousands of watchers for that one. I don't know why that one hit home with everybody, but it was...
It's Ignacy.
It's always Ignacy, seeing his face live. But, Corey, we'll get more into Gen Con in a second, but tell us what's happening in your life and with your businesses.
Oh my goodness. I mean, the biggest thing is coming to Gen Con. I've been here for a couple days already for reasons that listeners know. I came early to see how everything's set up, how everything gets made, really peek behind the curtain. And it's just been wonderful. I'm seeing all sorts of friends, going all sorts of cool places. Today, I'm actually going to join up with Bernie Lynn, who owns Dead Alive Games.
Oh, that's cool.
And we are going to go to Bubble Tea.
That's...
If anybody knows Bernie, he is obsessive about bubble tea, and he goes all the time. So that's my plans for today.
I've never met anybody so obsessed with bubble tea. I don't know. That's just not something that turns me on. But hey, everybody's got their own kink.
Yeah,
their own kink.
I can't wait to go back into the exhibit hall. It was pretty empty yesterday. There was limited setup in the exhibit hall yesterday. A couple big groups were allowed to start setup, but most people will set up today.
Right.
And just see what's going on over there in my new role of aloof manager.
I don't know if you're even allowed to say anything, but you don't have a true role in the running of this thing.
No,
of
not
course.
in the least.
Right. So you're just now.
And I wouldn't want to.
Right.
I don't know how to run it.
Right.
So it's the whole team. There's an events team. There's an exhibitor team. There's an ops team.
Friend of the show, Marion. We were hanging out with her last
Absolutely.
night. She is part of the events team. We have. There's just so many people obviously behind the scenes that do all this work here. So Gen Con at 70,000 plus people is just tremendous.
It's
and they did announce
team of probably about 30 people really working their butts off.
They've already announced that the 4-day badges are sold out.
Yeah.
The Friday only and the Saturday only are sold out, and the only thing remaining are Thursday or Sunday, and they are scheduled to shut that down by the end of the day today. So 100% sellout. It's amazing.
Likely going to be another record-breaking Gen Con.
Yeah, they sell one more ticket each year, and it's a record-breaking Gen Con. But you know what I mean. It's still just a tremendous show. Anything else happening in your life, sir?
Oh, just finished up tremendous amounts of visiting. I had Daryl Andrews of the house, which everybody knows, for the past month, and I miss the guy. It's very weird going places and doing things without Daryl. I mean, the biggest benefit was my entire life was documented. There were Facebook posts and pictures of everything I did for a month.
Because Daryl cannot help himself but to post social media at least every hour.
So now I'm backed up back into the bushes. I'm incognito. No one knows what I'm doing except I'm a Gen Con.
And you're getting hairier by the day. I noticed you had a nice, complete coiffed look, and you're back to being hairy. He has nothing to say about
Nothing
that.
to say. This is me.
All right. Over here at the Podfather Gaming, I just completed literally I arrived yesterday, the Monday of Gen Con, and I just completed my annual trip to see my oldest friends in the world. Literally, these are the guys I hung out with in high school. We had a band together, all that kind of crap you do. when you're in high school with your old immature friends. And we had just a great time eating too much, drinking too much, and of course jamming, because that's what we do when we get together. So it's an amazing time. I do that every year with them. Literally been doing it every year, sometimes multiple times a year, for the last, let's say, 45 years or more. Think about that. Long time.
That just means you're old.
That does mean I'm old. That does. Just other things going on. I did give. I'm going to make this last final call again for the World Series of Board Gaming. It is. You should check it out at the WSBGVegas.com. World Series Board Game. WSBGVegas.com. It's not just about tournaments, so that's the big thing. The ring tournaments. We have nightly events. We have open gaming. We have these Phoenix games that you can just. 16 people want to get into a tournament. You can win $100 to $200 if you can win 2 games in something. Terraforming Mars, Ark Nova, could be a light game too. So check it out and see what you think. But the open gaming badge, if you just want to like feel the whole thing out, we'll get you into Phoenix games as well. WSBGVegas.com, and it takes place at the end of September. So all cool. I love the music. That music behind us gives us that great.
We live for smooth jazz.
Smooth jazz. Let's get over to the event deck. All right, Corey. So over here in the event deck, we have multiple articles, ICV2 and Board Game Wire, that are reporting that GAMA has joined the NCLA anti-tariff lawsuit. First of all, who's the NCLA?
You're putting me on the spot.
Okay,
right
I'll do it.
Basically, there's a couple lawsuits going around. This is a big one from the New Civil Liberties Alliance. But a lot of groups have banded together to create one large lawsuit rather than little individual groups all putting in lawsuits.
Right.
So GAMA is with several other big groups saying that the tariffs imposed by Trump were unlawfully created.
They're unconstitutional, essentially. That that the president is not allowed to levy tariffs in this manner. The purse strings and tariffs are part of Congress's authority, so they are suing based on that.
There's 2 reasons they say they're unconstitutional. The first one's exactly what you just said. Article 1, Clause 1 of the Constitution grants Congress the sole authority to control tariffs. And then the second part is that the president co-opted the IEEPA, which is the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, a little obscure act.
Right.
Basically used that to bypass the actual Constitution and say, this is what we're going to do.
Right. So the bottom line here is the GAMA is now part of a larger group that is suing the U.S. government to say, you can't do this. And obviously this is going to be a very long, drawn-out thing where the tariffs are in place. As of 3 days from now, August 1st, all the tariffs that President Trump has discussed go into effect. Now, we have seen some good signs, right? We have a final number for China at 30%. Not a great thing, but a better thing than it was at 145. UK is at 10. The rest of the EU is at 15.
Brazil is the one that's really bizarre 20? At this point.
In Brazil
is 50,
which is crazy. Now, so any benefit? Right, go ahead.
That's a bad one because Panda Manufacturing just announced that they have a new facility in Brazil, which was put there in order to avoid the high tariffs in China.
Oh yeah, that's going to be devastating if people have started printing in Brazil. Well, it's not going to work.
They have. Panda's already started.
So ergo, you're going to now lose money via printing there versus printing China. So it's now going to be a loss for you. That's a shame. Let's move on to the next thing. Let's move on to the next thing. The next thing we have here is that it's more diamond news, so we can't go a day without diamond news. We have
I've got an ongoing bet with Ignacy that you'll talk about Diamond every single time I see you.
Diamond moves to sell Diamond UK to the employee group. Now, if you recall, we reported on this that all of the sales, all of what's going on, had to do with the Diamond Comics distributors' U.S.-based operations, but they have Diamond UK. That was not part of any deal so far. Now Diamond is looking to sell the UK-based operation to the employees of the company, and so far this looks like it's going well. And it's being the process is being managed by a major investment bank, Raymond James, and the employee group brought in their best offer, which was heavily negotiated, to purchase it for $2.1 million. That will help Diamond in a fairly significant way to bring down the amount of money they own. So I actually hope this happens. Of course, employee, that's great for their employees. They'll have ownership of the company they're working for. All this stuff is a really good thing. So I'm happy that this is moving in this direction. Now we have some interesting news because, we can't stop talking about Diamond Comics.
It's interesting is a strong word. We have two more tidbits, again, from ICV2, coming out of the big Diamond mess.
Go ahead, and you take it from here.
The big news we reported on previously is that in order to alleviate their bankruptcy, Diamond is selling games they have on consignment. So these are games Diamond does not own. Someone let Diamond take them to sell them. And Diamond is going to seize these games, sell them to alleviate their debt.
Right. Now, we reported specifically that, amazingly enough, so in a consignment relationship, the person who gives the goods, the publisher, right, owns those goods, and then when the consignor sells it, they then give the money to the consignee. Whatever those noun are.
We're in bankruptcy.
It doesn't.
All the laws are different.
All the laws are different, but there is a potential out for all of the people that did this consignment based on a precedent in this particular court as well. So we're hoping that the court sides because it's just fair.
All the news is so far is that the ad hoc committee of consignors has filed a motion to stay Diamond's seizure of the consignment inventory.
That is the major thing.
A motion has been filed to say, no, you can't do this.
Right. But there's a second thing that was put into this ICV2 article, and that was what? Sparkle Pop?
Sparkle Pop. So, Sparkle Pop LLC is the ad populum company that acquired the assets of Diamond Comic Distribution.
Right.
And they have amended their complaints. They have an ongoing lawsuit about everything that happened with the sale and everything. So they've added a new count to their complaints, and they've kind of tweaked their other complaints for the lawsuit. So the new count, what's their new count? It's fraud.
Well, what they're saying is they've amended their complaint against Alliance Entertainment. Now, if you remember, this is not Alliance Game Distributors, which is part of the sale here, but it's against Alliance Entertainment.
Alliance Entertainment won the right to buy and then looked at the books and said, no, we can't buy this, it's too messed up.
It's so messed up, and it's a bad thing.
And now Sparkle Pop is saying this was illegal because they broke NDA.
It's so messy. It is just so messy.
So more players in the game, all fighting for a teeny tiny pie.
Yeah, exactly. So we have some Hasbro interesting, silly, maybe news on some level. This it was actually in Bloomberg.com as well as in ICV2. I'll grab one of the articles here. And they're saying that Hasbro is basically really killing it, sort of. They are. So Hasbro is looking to do their Magic the Gathering Universes Beyond. Remember, they started that with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, they're about to release a Spider-Man one.
They're going to do a Spider-Man one. But guess what they're also doing? They're going to do in K-pop. That's Korean pop music version of Magic the Gathering's Universes Beyond.
We need BTS Magic.
Which one? What?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
They've done the Final Fantasy set. I've heard it's reported in here, and I don't see the exact numbers at the moment. Was so successful that it outdid the Lord of the Rings 2-1. That's absolutely insane how popular that IP was when it hit with Magic the Gathering players. Incredible. So they're expanding their use of the Universes Beyond, doing an amazingly big amount of these things.
Yeah.
And all of this
is
in here's
the number is incredible. On day one, Final Fantasy sold more than the first 6 months of Lord of the Rings.
There you go. And I would never have guessed such a thing. But here's the really weird part. So Hasbro's regular games declined by 23%. I mean, it was like a really bad quarter. But Magic the Gathering is just killing it. And Hasbro had to take a huge charge, almost $1 billion charge due to tariffs. So this is affecting everybody. $1 billion tariff charge, give or take. All right. What else do we have here, Corey? We have, oh, you know what? Because Ignacio's not here, and it was reported on ICV2, it said that Portal Games will release the new edition of Age of Galaxy into retail. Well, we've obviously, Ignacio talks about this all the time. But this game does sound amazing.
It is a really,
and
really
I'm reporting
cool
on
game,
it,
man.
not for him per se, but I'm reporting because ICV2 had it as some important thing. $40 retail. Check it out. I think it's going to be an amazing game.
Then we've got our big, huge article that's becoming a trend here on ICV2. Tycoon Games, which is Dan Yarrington's company, has been acquiring IPs insanely every time we talk. First, they acquired the game Canvas. Then they acquired most of Cool Mini's library. Then they acquired Gameland Games, both Heroes of Land, Sea, and Air, and all the Tiny Epic games. And now they have acquired 3 more titles from the publisher Ludonate. And these are big titles. These are great games. 2 Spiel winners.
So they acquired Cult Express,
Spiel winner.
which won the Spiel des Jahres in 2015. And they acquired Living Forest, which is a
Kenner Spiel winner.
2022 Kenner Spiel des Jahres winner.
They also acquired Lewis and Clark, which is a little bit of an older game, but an absolute classic.
Yeah. So I gave my commentary on what I think about the company and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna stop unless you want to make any more points.
He's a very controversial figure.
That's a way to say it. So, yeah, so we're just going to continue from there. This is the end of the news. However, let's take some questions from the audience in Strategy and Tactics.
You, over there.
Oh, right there. You?
You.
No.
Yeah.
You?
Blue shirt.
Okay.
There's literally...
Oh, Peter Haraldson. He's
There's
here.
literally nobody in the lobby.
Peter Haraldson from Sweden is here. He's at Pops on BGG. We know. Hey, Peter, good to see you. Thanks for the question that you are saying, and then we have somebody coming over in my headset.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, very much a lie. Okay, but Peter did answer this question. Okay, so I heard you're running out of questions. So here's one for you. Well, at the time we did. We're doing great. We're like, this is a end of February question, almost a March question. So it's great that when you ask us questions, we're going to get to them pretty quickly. When is a game too long?
Oh, I love
this
this question.
For me, a 15-minute game can be too long if it's unengaging or plain boring, but I'll happily play 12-hour long Mega Civilization. Do you have any hard limits? I mean, it's a very subjective.
Hard limit, no. But I do have some general rules. Like, a game is very, very random. It shouldn't go longer than a half an hour. If a game is really mean, or people drop out, or people are immediately eliminated from competition for winning,
right?
Again, shouldn't go longer than a half an hour.
Yeah, I think the game. I don't have a hard limit. I probably don't want to play a 12-hour Mega Civilization game. Which, by the way, I've seen Mega Civilization go 12 hours. Half the game was played, and and I think that they canceled
I've seen it go day after day.
Yeah, so that I don't want to do, because that to me would be too long. But I'm happy to play Twilight Imperium with 4 players and take 6 or more hours. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't think there's a hard limit at all
Battlestar
for me.
Galactica lasts on average a fortnight.
No, Battlestar Galactica, I think you can play that in 3 to 4 hours, depending on how many expansions you're playing with. But I love that game. So my short answer is, if the game is good, I'm basically in it for a long time. I think just Mega Civ just drags on too much, so I won't.
I'm in for anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
as long as you have the time, right?
I remember I did a single session of Sleeping Gods.
Well, you could talk about that in the question, right?
It went a really long time.
Corey almost gave something away for our question of the week. Scott V's, that's got done 1. Hey, Scott, he's always a frequent asker of questions. Philosophical debate he's giving us. Of the following, you can only have one the rest of your life. Which do you pick? You have to get rid of one for the rest of your life.
So it's
Which do you pick?
entertainment source.
So this is you can only have one, and then the second question, you could have to get rid of one, and you can have the other 3. So the first one is 1, TV, theater, movies, videos. book, and then number 2, books, magazines, written print, like he says Bible, Torah, Quran, are excluded. Okay, you can have the Bible, you can have your religious text, but you can't have any other print media.
Sure.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. Music, so you'd have to either get rid of music.
Can't live without my soft
Okay,
pass.
and then and then sports, cards, and games. He puts that all into one. All right, so let's both. Which is the one
all
you
right.
can have only one? Which is the one thing you would pick in all of these?
For me, it's got to be music.
Really? If you would get rid of games and sports, you'd get rid of
I
every book.
would.
You'd get rid of all your TV, theater, movies.
I'm
Wow.
synesthetic, so a lot of times
What's the
when
word? What?
Synesthetic.
What the frig does that mean?
Synesthetic.
Okay, it's defined.
When I listen to music, I can see it. Like there's a crosswire in my brain.
I think he made that word up. But okay, that's interesting.
I did not make that word up. So anyway, I get a lot of emotional connections and travel and all this stuff when I listen to music.
That's
intensely alone, headphones, the whole deal. And
So-
I can't give that up.
So for me, I would. I can only have one. I would have to be. I'm a visually oriented person, so not books and not music. Though I mean, I love those things. And games, I'd have to give up games. But I really, TV, theater, movies, videos. Though I could not live without those things. So that's would be mine. Now I go the other way. You have to get rid of one of these things,
Sure.
and you can have the other 3. Which
And
would
see,
you pick?
I would get rid of the visual media. I would get rid of TV, theater, movies, and videos. I could live without that. I enjoy them.
You're very weird.
But I could live without that.
You're truly a weird person. So for
yeah.
me, it would. I know this is going to be tough, but for me, it would probably be number 2, the books, magazines, and written print.
You really should learn to read one of these days. It's a whole other world.
Because
for
all
you.
of those things get turned into
That's a good point.
TV and movies and videos. So that's why I would choose getting rid of the written media, because they're all going to show up in my number 1 love, the visual media. Very interesting question. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you, Scott. Scott then continues, and he says, he also says, P.S. Would the answers change if society as a whole had only one of these or never had one of these? I can't even, no.
I can't even imagine that. I think it was the same issue going through my head.
Yeah.
The same questions, the same
Yeah.
choices.
All right, so he says, my prior question spurred a vision. Another question in the middle of the night. So Scott had a vision.
Oh, this is, okay.
Has or would Board Games Insiders consider making a game using the collective creative powers of this guild?
Wow.
Oh, you might know a designer or two as well as a publisher or two.
1 or 2.
Anyway, picturing a party game that is gamified, 500 to 1,000 questions, can be in the style above, like i.e. pick one from one of the categories, or maybe take it in a board game direction, name a component, name the designer, which game sold more copies, identify the fake game. So he wants to have
a gamified board game trivia party game.
So basically, in the end, he's trying to say, could we crowdsource a board game design? I mean, this is done.
Oh, absolutely. The most famous one was the Society of Board Game Influencers. It was started by Luke Laurie and Scott Caputo.
Smart guys, too smart.
Before
Much
Luke
smarter than
Laurie actually designed any games, he did this online blog of Game Design Collective.
Very cool.
And he would do amazing things like put out there, here's a board game design idea. I'm not going to do it. Anybody who reads this can do it. Go. Make the games.
Scott, this is interesting. Who knows? Maybe we'll try to throw something together. This would take a lot of time and like a million iterations.
There are a few versions of it out there.
The one I'm gonna make mention of, the one that I remember the most, and I actually was listening to on a podcast in real time, was that on Ludology. The original incarnation of Ludology was Jeff Engelstein and Ryan Strum. I forgot his last name.
Yeah.
And they designed, like in real time, so to speak, over time on the podcast, Trading the Mediterranean.
And the name was a joke.
Just to annoy Tom Vassell, which I completely support that thing, because Tom hates trading in the Mediterranean game. So they designed, and Ryan was the driver of the name too, this game called Trading in the Mediterranean, which then became the published game
Trading in the Tigris.
Trading on the Tigris,
Right.
or something like that.
And it's
right?
a very good game.
It's a quite heavy euro. So that's the one I remembered in real time, and it was a lot of fun. So who knows if we'll do this?
By the way, the blog that I was talking about, I had the name wrong.
There you
It's
go.
the League of Extraordinary Game Makers.
Very, very, very good. How are we doing on time? Okay. Adam C, he's at SETI. If you could have any form of catering for your board game day, other than a sit-down meal, yeah, who would want that on a game day? You don't want to sit down, waste too much time. What would it be? For the record, I'd probably want a sushi station. Players could pick up plates with pieces of sushi, and the chopstick would prevent dirty hands. That's a great idea. And guess what? Do you remember what happened at Daryl Andrews' mini base camp?
Yeah.
That he had in January, and I was invited to come up. We had about 25 people there, give or take.
Yeah.
And one of the a lovely friend of mine, Michelle, the first day that we were there, she bought like a lot of sushi. And not everybody had enough, but everybody had a little bit.
Friend of the channel, Hester from Longpack, brought in lots of sushi.
Right. The next day, I doubled like the amount of sushi, and I just had everybody had. And the next day, I even had more sushi. I just kept buying sushi.
Sushi is like the perfect board gaming food.
It is really a good one.
Well, plus I really love it.
I love
the other
sushi.
thing I've always wondered about is if you go to these fancy restaurants, a lot of times they have a amuse-bouche, which is like a spoon with a single bite in it. Imagine if you just lined a table with big spoons, and each one was just pick up the spoon, eat it, move on,
and then move on. I love it. Well, it's like another form of what you do with sushi, right? Have a piece, move on.
You got it.
Right. I love it. I love it. You know what? You're correct, Adam. That's the one. We're going to do it. And we've done it. Marcus Shepard from Finland. He's at Marcus Shepard. That's a original tag there. I often hear board games referred to as a, quote, low margin business. Is it, though? My understanding might be biased by the tech industry, where often shaving off a fraction of a cent off the cost can make or break a company.
Well, it's because selling 10 million copies.
In addition, I often hear that MSRP for board games is about 5x production cost, knowing that this isn't the profit margin for the publisher, of course. Do people really mean that board games are a low volume rather than a low margin business? Note, I have even less knowledge of business than Ignacy.
No. Ignacy knows more than me.
So, if nothing else, this is an invitation for Steven to give an economics 101
I just want to put
lecture.
out a general note to all the listeners. Never give Steven an open window to speak uninterrupted. This is your fault.
Marcus, this is your fault. No, okay. So let's talk. Let's talk about this. And
I'm gonna go see a movie.
I'm not gonna go so long, but I mean, in most manufacturing businesses, which is we are publishers, but we're engaging with a printer. Technically, is the manufacturer, right? They're getting the product and bringing it here. What you need to have in the standard distribution model, and we've talked about this, is a 5x on your MSRP, cost to your MSRP. But that's not just production cost. That's your fully landed in your warehouse cost. What does that mean exactly? Well, it's the production cost per unit of the game, plus any costs that are associated with that game. So it could be
possibly even the warehousing cost.
You normally won't include that because that would become a variable cost of holding the goods over time. But maybe you have a fixed cost portion of that. Who knows? So the point is, let's just say it costs $5 a unit to make the game in China, but then you have to put it on a boat, and then you can allocate $0.50 per game for the cost to get to the U.S. or wherever your warehouse is. So now you're $5.50. But you had artwork; it cost you $5,000 in art, and did 5,000 games. That's $1 more per unit. So now you're at $6.50 per unit. You want that number. When you multiply that number times 5 be your MSRP, approximately. Some people go much higher. They can. The smaller the game, usually the easier it is to do that. I mean, if you have a $30 production cost, you're not often going to try to charge $150.
Now, I'm going to say for the most part, board games are both low margin, where we're really not making that much profit off of a game, even though there is this 5x markup to layman sounds like there's an enormous profit going on. But this really is to cover costs. So the actual profit's very small.
Now remember, of course, we're in a distribution model, so we get this thing in the warehouse. We're going to sell it, for the most part, the largest volume of sales is going to go to a distributor. They're not giving us the MSRP. They're giving us 4% of what we've set the MSRP at. 40%. That's all the money we get from that single unit or thousands of units we sell into the chain. They then sell it to the retailer at 50% of MSRP. So they're making that 10% of MSRP cut. Then the retailer will sell it at 100% of MSRP or a discount, their call, and they'll make 50%. So the weirdest thing is the retailer technically makes the most money, but they have to take the risk of holding a product on their shelf. So there's
the other side of the question. We are also, in the general scheme of things, a low volume industry. For the most part, board games are making 5,000 units.
And then that's
some people very low amount.
Yeah, and for some companies that's on the high end. If you can find 5,000 at every game, for the small publishers, you're probably
some of these
do okay.
niche audience bespoke games are doing P500 runs, which are 500 copy runs.
Things like that. All right, so we're gonna go to. Let me see how we're doing on time. Corey, we're okay. We can take more questions. Kirk W, friend of the show, he's always asking us questions. He's from Germany. He's the corset maker. I love that.
He really is a corset maker. I was talking to him about it. It's fascinating.
I think that's amazing. He makes corsets. This comes from March 5th. See, we're very, very close to real-time questions. I recently finished a biography of one of the greatest bands of all time, REM.
Michael Stipe.
There was a fair amount of discussion of popular evolution of the band in terms of their albums going gold, platinum, and even multi-platinum. This got me thinking. Do you think it would be interesting to have something similar in board gaming? Perhaps a game goes gold at 25,000 units, platinum at 50,000 units. Would different numbers be more appropriate? Perhaps even a silver level at 15. Publishers could put these credentials on their game boxes, which could help sales. Even
I think it's
more than critical.
Idea.
This is a very interesting. This would also encourage publishers to be more transparent about their total sales of games. I want to address that.
I want to address it too. I've always wanted transparency in numbers, and almost no publishers want it.
Yeah, and I as a publisher, former and current, we don't want to do that, and there's no direct need to do that. Gamers just want to know. They want to know, and that's cool.
I want to know.
I mean,
but this whole idea of putting borders on it, and you're never going to talk about something that isn't selling well, so there's no embarrassment to the publisher.
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe.
I think that the rough part there is the only number the publishers really know is how many they've printed. They don't know how many have sold.
That's not true. There's a differential between what you still have in your warehouse, give or take.
There is. I mean, you can guess, but it's a lot of math and a lot of work. The easy number is you know how much you printed.
You know how much you printed, and, well, you do know. You kind of know. You're going to count your inventory.
But if you sell
going
to a
down,
distributor, that doesn't mean it is sold.
No, it is. Distributors buy the product, right, and they now own the product. That's not consignment.
It's not sold to the consumer.
True, but you have sold the game. You're not making any more money.
But that's not what the consumers care about. If consumers see number of units sold, they will never guess you sold it to the distributor.
Well, then we can't
That's
deal with that.
I'm saying.
I disagree that that's the important number. The
that's
important
because
number.
You're a publisher.
The important number is but distributors don't carry much inventory.
The important number to the publisher is the number sold out of publishing.
Can I talk a little bit here? Just a little.
You talk so much.
I do talk a lot. All right. But the point is that from a publisher's perspective, they sell it, they're done, and the distributors don't want to hold inventory. So really, they have and they've gotten smarter over time. So they bought less inventory and sell it. So they have a very fast cycle to get stuff up.
Yep.
So most of the time, it's a pretty close number. If I printed 10,000 units and 5,000 more are sitting in my warehouse, I sold 5,000 into distribution, plus at conventions, plus some games I've given away to reviews, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a very cool thing, but you never get all the publishers to buy into this. I mean, I think that's the bottom line.
I think it's a fantastic idea, and I think it's only positive for publishers because you get that sticker and it will affect sales.
All right. Well, you know what, Corey? We are.
Yeah, blabbermouth.
We have to. We do have to go on. The blabbermouth is here. All right. Let me wait. I got to make a mark here. Where did we? I have to make a mark here so we know where we came in the show notes.
Absolutely.
All right. And now let's get down to play testing. All right, Corey. As usual, you gave this amazing question for last week. Why don't you tell us?
I always give amazing questions.
You do, man. You're just amazing.
So last week we asked, if you had a very smart AI at your disposal to play board games with you, would you play more board games alone? And this might mean solo games, but it also means multiplayer games that have an AI opponent.
Right.
And these are really good AI opponents. So the AI can, of course, simulate as many people as you want. It can be customized to play like your friends. It can be aggressive or conservative. It can trash talk you. It can do whatever.
So you did a roll up here. We're gonna get individual answers,
did.
but you did kind of a roll up. Why don't you tell us what you found, and then I'll just in aggregate.
About 75% of the answers were no, no robots.
No robots. That's interesting. So I'll give a few that said no, they would. So KevCon, he's KevCon. At Kevella123. I've never heard from him or her before. Nice to hear from a new listener. Absolutely, I love playing solo for many reasons, but sometimes I struggle managing AI opponents. So a smart AI that manages itself would be great, especially if it gave me trash talk or a pat on the back for a good move if I needed. Let me take one more from Amber Wells. And she also says, absolutely, I do a fair amount of solo board gaming, so an AI could simulate various opponents would be very compelling. No need for trash talk or conversation. One of the things I enjoy about solo gaming is the opportunity to enjoy some quiet solitude, but I definitely would enjoy the mental challenge. So there were a few people who did go there.
It's about 75% now. Patrick Zock had one of my favorites. Nope, can't bond with AI, can't talk about games, and the hobby went away from the game, and AI cannot appreciate my victory dance.
That's great. Greg Sanko, very good friend. He says, no, this would relate to the recent question on playing solo games. The big reason, I'm a board game. I'm at the board game table for the social aspect. It's just me. I might as well turn on the PlayStation. Yep, that's true. I mean, I get it. I mean, I think my answer was it probably wouldn't affect me too much at all. So my answer was kind of a no. And you kind of had the same.
I have this older generation mentality that if I play against a computer opponent, I feel like I'm talking to invisible people in the room, and I feel self-conscious.
You feel self-conscious when you do? That's pretty funny. Josh Wasser, he says, I might like this occasionally when there's a quote, new hotness for me game. I'm itching to play more often than I can get to the table, especially if it's lacking a solo mode or has one that feels too different from the main game. I love engine builders and have yet to play one with a good solo mode. Yep. But normally, no.